Imagine a room, untouched by sunlight, where the air is thick with secrets, and the walls have witnessed decades of silence. Picture a place so isolated that time itself seems to have stopped, the world outside moving on, completely unaware of the tragedy unfolding within. Behind a locked door, sealed from the world for 25 long years, a life was hidden away, forgotten by everyone except those who kept the secret. Inside, a woman named Blanche Monnier lay wasting away, her body reduced to a mere 55 pounds. She was a shadow of her former self, surviving in darkness, deprived of fresh air, warmth, and hope. This wasn't a tale spun from imagination or a gothic novel. It happened in a respectable home in Poitiers, France, a place that should have been a sanctuary. Her captors? None other than her own mother and brother, the very people meant to protect her. The Monniers were pillars of high society, attending glittering events, hosting charity galas, and earning the admiration of their peers. Their reputation was spotless, their generosity well known. Yet just upstairs, Blanche was hidden away, her existence erased from the world, her suffering ignored. For a quarter century, no one suspected a thing. Neighbors passed by, friends visited, and life continued, all while a terrible secret festered behind closed doors. The silence was absolute, maintained by the family's chilling determination and the unspoken code of secrecy that bound them together. In 1901, an anonymous letter arrived at the Paris Attorney General's office, exposing the horror that had been so carefully concealed. The police, skeptical but compelled by the shocking claims, visited 21 Rue de la Visitation, unsure of what they would find. What they discovered would haunt them forever. A secret so monstrous, so unimaginable, it shattered the illusion of respectability and left the entire community reeling. Sometimes the most terrifying monsters are not the ones we imagine in the dark, but the ones who live right next door, hiding behind a mask of normalcy. This story begins not with a monster, but with a beautiful young woman whose only crime was falling in love with the wrong person, defying her family's wishes. And it would end with a revelation so shocking, so tragic, that it would grip the nation and echo through history as one of France's darkest secrets. Before the darkness, Blanche Monnier was the light of Poitiers. Born in 1849, she was admired for her beauty and charm, the pride of a wealthy conservative family. Her father was a respected academic, her mother obsessed with reputation. Blanche was expected to marry well, to uphold the family's social standing. Suitors lined up, but her heart chose differently. She fell in love with a local lawyer, older, Protestant, and not of their class. For Madame Monnier, this was unthinkable. Blanche's defiance was a scandal waiting to happen. In a society where reputation was everything, her choice threatened the family's carefully constructed image. The Monniers' obsession with appearances would soon become Blanche's prison. Her love was her rebellion, and her undoing. At 25, she stood against her mother's will, never imagining the price she would pay. The door to her gilded cage was about to slam shut, and her world would shrink to a single locked room. Madame Louise Monnier was the iron-willed matriarch of her family, a woman whose presence commanded both respect and fear. In the salons of Poitiers, she was admired for her poise and dignity, a pillar of the community. But behind the heavy curtains of her home, her reputation was forged in steel, unyielding, uncompromising, and above all, controlling. Her authority was absolute, her love conditional. Every decision, every emotion was measured against the family's honor. To cross her was to risk everything. When Blanche, her only daughter, refused to abandon her forbidden love, it was more than simple rebellion. It was an open declaration of war within the family. The air in the Monnier household grew thick with tension, every word a potential spark. Madame Monnier saw disgrace looming on the horizon, a shadow threatening to engulf her carefully constructed world. She would do anything, no matter how cruel, to prevent scandal from staining the Monnier name. She forbade the match, expecting immediate obedience. But Blanche, emboldened by love, stood her ground, refusing to yield to her mother's iron will. The battle escalated, arguments erupted, threats were hurled, and emotional blackmail became a daily weapon. The walls echoed with shouts and sobs. As mother and daughter clashed in a struggle neither was willing to lose. Blanche, ever hopeful, believed her mother's heart would soften. She waited for forgiveness, for understanding, but she was wrong. Madame Monnier's resolve only hardened. Madame Monnier's obsession with control knew no bounds. She watched Blanche's every move, her gaze sharp and unrelenting, determined to crush any hint of defiance. Marcel, Blanche's brother, found himself drawn into the conflict. Whether out of fear, loyalty, or a desperate need to please his mother, he sided with her, leaving Blanche isolated and outnumbered. Together, mother and son made a chilling decision. If Blanche would not submit, she would simply disappear. Her stubbornness would be erased, her presence wiped away as if she had never existed. Her freedom, her life, her very existence would be sacrificed to protect the family name. The cost of defiance would be paid in silence and darkness. The Monniers' respectability was built on a lie, a secret so terrible it would haunt them for generations. And Blanche, the innocent heart at the center, would pay the ultimate price. The family's silent war ended with a locked door, a final act of betrayal disguised as duty. And so, a daughter vanished from the world, her laughter and dreams swallowed by the darkness of her prison. The cost of defiance was a lifetime in darkness, a punishment as cruel as the iron will that demanded it. In 1876, Blanche Monnier vanished at age 27, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and broken hearts. Her sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through her small Parisian community, where she was known for her beauty and gentle spirit. Friends and suitors were told she'd fallen ill or been sent away to recover, a story that seemed plausible in an era when women's health was often shrouded in secrecy. Whispers circulated, but no one dared to challenge the Monnier family's explanation. Madame Monnier and her son Marcel played the grieving family with convincing sorrow, their carefully crafted facade accepted without question by neighbors and acquaintances alike. In those days, mental illness was a convenient cover for many family secrets. The stigma was so great that no one looked deeper, and the Monniers' word was law in their social circle. The man Blanche loved, a humble lawyer, waited for her faithfully. He wrote letters, hoping for a reply, but she never returned. He died years later, never knowing the truth of her fate. The secret was safe, hidden behind the Monniers' imposing facade. Their home became a fortress, its walls concealing a darkness that no one suspected. In reality, Blanche was locked in a tiny attic room, her world reduced to darkness and silence. The only light came from a small, grimy window, barely enough to remind her of the world outside. The plan at first was to break her will and force her to abandon the man she loved. But as days turned into months and months into years, her imprisonment became permanent, a cruel solution to a family scandal. Releasing her would expose their crime, so the lock stayed. The attic became her world, and the outside world slowly forgot she ever existed. Years turned into decades. Blanche became a ghost in her own home, her youth and hope fading with each passing season. Downstairs, life continued as if nothing was amiss. The Monnier hosted guests, attended social events, and maintained their reputation, all while hiding an unthinkable secret above their heads. Upstairs, Blanche's existence faded into oblivion. She became a shadow, her voice silenced, her presence erased from family memory. The family's reputation depended on her silence. To the outside world, the Monniers were upstanding citizens, but within their home, they were jailers. 25 long years would pass before the truth emerged, years in which Blanche's suffering remained hidden from the world. The Monniers' secret was a living tomb, a prison built not of stone but of fear, shame, and silence. And Blanche was its prisoner. Her story a chilling reminder of the darkness that can hide behind even the most respectable doors. For 25 years, Blanche's world was a windowless attic. She endured freezing winters, stifling summers, and near-total darkness. Her only sustenance, scraps tossed onto the filthy floor. She slept on a rotting straw mattress surrounded by filth and vermin. The stench was overwhelming, yet no one intervened. Blanche was stripped of dignity, isolated from all human contact. Her mind deteriorated, her spirit was crushed. The vibrant woman she once was faded into a shadow. Meanwhile, her family maintained their social lives below. They heard her, smelled the decay, but chose silence. Every day, they reaffirmed their cruelty. Blanche's suffering was the price of their respectability. The silence from that room was the sound of their success, and the world outside remained oblivious. The secret held for decades, but not forever. In May 1901, an anonymous letter reached the Paris Attorney General. It described a woman imprisoned in filth for 25 years at the Monnier home. Authorities were skeptical, but the details were too specific to ignore. Police arrived at 21 Rue de la Visitation, greeted by a spotless house and a foul stench upstairs. Marcel refused to open the locked door. Police forced it. Inside, they found Blanche, skeletal, filthy, Terrified, sunlight flooded the room for the first time in decades. Blanche, now 52, shielded her eyes, barely alive. The horror was undeniable. The Belle of Poitiers had been found. The Monniers' darkest secret was exposed. The city recoiled in shock and justice began to stir. Why did they do it? The world demanded answers. The official story: Blanche's love threatened the family's honor. Some whispered she'd become pregnant, a scandal too great to bear. Madame Monnier's obsession with reputation became pathological. Pride and fear made reversing course impossible. Marcel's role remains chilling. Was he dominated or complicit? The motive was a toxic mix of ambition, control, and fear. Blanche's life was sacrificed for appearances. The initial spark was love. The fire was years of cruelty and secrecy. News of Blanche's rescue shocked France. The Monniers, once revered, became symbols of monstrous cruelty. Crowds gathered, furious as the family's reputation crumbled overnight. Madame Monnier was arrested but died of a heart condition before trial. She escaped legal justice, but not public disgrace. Marcel was tried, convicted, then freed on appeal. There was no law for his crime. He argued Blanche could have left, blaming her mental state. Blanche was sent to a psychiatric hospital, too damaged to recover. She lived out her days in care, her spirit broken. The case led to new laws in France, ensuring such neglect would be punished. The Belle of Poitiers was lost forever. Her story became a cautionary tale, and the law finally caught up with the darkness. Blanche Monnier's story lingers, a shadow over what we think we know about family and evil. It reminds us that monsters can hide behind respectability. The case is a warning about the dangers of obsession and unchecked cruelty. The Monniers became prisoners of their own secret. One anonymous letter shattered their silence and saved a life. It's a testament to the power of speaking up. How many secrets remain hidden, waiting for courage to expose them? Blanche's tragedy is more than history. It's a lesson in vigilance and empathy. If this story unsettled you, subscribe for more true tales that challenge what we believe. Sometimes, the darkest stories are the ones closest to home.